Hey, what up, everybody? Mark Ellert here. Today, I want to talk to you about resolving our conflicts. When you got that confrontation with people, you choose not to resolve it when you just avoid it and everything, it can become a problem. It's very normal for me to avoid conflict and for me to internalize it. It's really normal for me to sit with that conflict and internalize it for a while, and it just causes a lot of stress and it doesn't help because then when I'm ready to actually have that conflict, Mark's ready to get nuts. I'm throwing elbows and dropping f bombs, and it's not a pretty thing, everybody. So that's why it's good for us to resolve our conflicts, everyone. And it's good when we're resolving conflict not to use emotions. It's not a good idea to have this conflict emotion based because then it's just going to get worse. It's really good for us to use our logical, rational mind to talk it out and try to just have conversation with people and explain things. Because when we're using emotion, it's not easy for us to explain things. It's just easy for us to get angry. So, all you know that I'm an emotional person. I mean, I like long walks on the beach. I like poetry and romance. No, I'm an emotional person. It's easy for me to react with emotions. But everyone, I've eventually learned how to respond to situations with logical, rational mind. 20 years ago, I had a conflict. I used emotions to try to resolve it. And in turn, I just basically attempted suicide, which made me have a complete traumatic brain injury as well as completely go blind for the rest of my life. Reacting with my emotions really did not help well. It did not resolve the conflict. I didn't even say anything to these people. I don't know what the hell Mark was doing, but okay, whatever. So everyone, it's good to use our logical, rational mind. It's good to resolve conflict and not perpetuate it. Because that's the thing, when you have relationships with people, when you have like a little thing going on that rubs you the wrong way, it's better to talk about it. The more you don't talk about it, the more you sit with it, the more resentment builds, the more relationship isn't very healthy. When you've got people working relationships, whether it's at work, in the apartment building you live in, family or friends, relationships with people you see all the time, it's good to resolve that conflict. It's really good to talk it out because it's easy for me to internalize things and it just becomes problematic. So then everyone, when you're ready to have that conflict, when you're ready to have that conversation, a good way to do it is use I statements. When you want to talk to them about it, like, hey, I noticed this. I feel this way. When I'm noticing that you're doing this, I feel this way about it. Use I statements because it takes the blame. When you use you statements, that's you. You're pointing fingers and people take it personally. They think it's an attack on them. They find it more aggressive. They're going to feel the need to defend themselves more. It's going to turn into an argument. When you're saying you statements, they're going to get defensive. They're going to feel the need to defend themselves and say why. When you're using I statements, that's putting you on the floor. That's basically saying how you feel, what's going on with you. It's not putting blame on them. So it's hard. You got to be dealing with a pretty weird person for them to take that offensive. When you're saying, hey, I feel this way, and they get angry about it, cut ties with that person. That ain't a good person. That's why it's good to have these conversations, everyone. Don't be angry and don't be mean. Use I statements to say how you feel and what you're observing and how you're reacting to things. And that's when they can get a better idea about it. When you use you statements and point blame, that's not going to get anywhere. Because everyone, I've noticed when I'm actually thinking about a conflict, when I'm having stuff rubbing me the wrong way and I'm ready to approach it and have that conversation, I notice when I'm becoming very emotional about it and I need to say something, it's because I kind of fantasize about it. There's times when I'll be at home fantasizing and thinking about that conversation and things I want to say and do. That's all my emotions. Because during that little conversation in my head, I'm using you statements. I'm getting angry. I'm saying, you did this, you did that, you have no decency. I'm really just fantasizing about laying into them and giving them a piece of my mind and making them feel like crap. That's not right. That's emotion based. I don't want to, just because I feel bad about something, I don't want to make other people feel bad. I don't want to dump on them and be aggressive and angry. I'm not a vindictive, angry person. I don't want to be aggressive. So when you put it off for that long, everyone, and use emotions, that can happen. It's not good to use emotions in that conversation because they're not going to retain it well, and you're not going to feel good about the things you said. I mean, you'll feel good during it. While you're saying it, while you're fantasizing about it, you're going to be like, yes, that feels awesome. Afterwards, when the relationship falls apart, when it just turns into an argument and you realize it got you nowhere, you're going to be like, wow. And you're going to realize that using those emotions and that aggression really didn't get you very far and it's not healthy. It's not going to help. It's good to use your rational mind, everyone. It's good to use I statements and just state the way that you're feeling about things. Have a conversation. Be level headed and don't come in there, seeing red, ready to throw punches and dropping F bombs. And it's not going to be a healthy communication. It's not going to be retained well. You're not going to say what you need to. You're not going to be thinking clearly. It's just going to be a lot of yada, yada, yada. So, everyone, don't put it off. Actually, have that conversation. Use I statements and try not to be so aggressive and vindictive. And everyone, there's also times too when you've had that conversation with someone and they don't retain it well and it doesn't come off the way that you want it to and that relationship's over. It's over, okay? You said what you had to say. How it's good for us to set boundaries and stand up for ourselves. We can't have relationships that people walk all over us, take advantage of us, don't treat us right, disrespect us. Those are the kind of relationships we can't have. It's better for us to have that confrontation. It's better for us to cut ties with those types of people. And once that has happened, I won't deny it. There's some things still in my past that I still internalize, and there's still some things I fantasize and think about. There's some people I want to have a conversation with. There's some things that I want to say, but I know that's just my emotions reacting. I know that some feelings are coming up about some stuff. So that's when I also use I statements again. I'm having those feelings. I'm thinking about the things I want to say to that person. I'm thinking about the things I want to do to those people. I know if I had a conversation with them or saw them in person, it would not be pretty. It would be really ugly and it would not get anywhere. So it's not healthy. And it's not healthy to feed those emotions and feed that anger. When I sit with it and I fantasize about it, it's not healthy, everyone. I really enjoy it, and it's not healthy to be angry like that. So when I start feeling that, I use I statements again. I remember, okay, you know what, Mark? You've been through a lot. You have some stuff. You have some post-traumatic stress. You have some emotional attachment to the things that have happened to you. You're thinking about some stuff right now, so you're having that emotional reaction. You're having the emotions come up right now. Try to calm down those emotions. Try to settle those down. I use my rational, logical thinking. I say, okay, I know that this happened. I know this person did this and it was wrong. I can't control what they did. I had a conversation. I stated how I felt. They didn't retain it well. They didn't take well to it. They still just chose to do what they did and walk all over me. It makes me unhappy. I can be emotional about it, but if anything, I'm protecting myself. I know that person's not worth my time. I set my boundaries, did what I needed to. It sucks what they did. I can't control it. I can't change the past. I can't change what other people do and how they choose to respond. All I can do is decide how I want to respond to things, everyone. I can't change what people have done, can't change the emotions. All I can do is change how I react and respond to it. When I use my emotions, it gets me nowhere and I get upset. When I use my logical, rational mind, I think it through and I just remind myself. And again, I statements. I know they did this. I know it's not right. I know I cut ties. I have my reasons. Makes us feel good about it. Makes us feel like we're using ration and logic. We're not using the emotions so much. And it helps us feel powerful. It helps us remember, I know this. I won't stand up for it. I set my boundaries. I'm the man. Whew! Use those I statements because when we go, wow, this person did this to me. Wow, they fucked up. Like, wow, what is wrong with people? That's giving them the power. That's again handing our emotions over to them. We're becoming emotional about something. We're giving them the power. And again, reliving all those emotions. We're feeling helpless. We're feeling worthless. We're feeling like crap that people can walk all over us. It brings back those same emotional feelings. So, everyone, we have emotions to things, but process them and work through them. When you're feeling that stuff, use I statements. Give yourself the power. Use your logical, rational mind. Think it through and don't run through those emotions and sit with them. Use I statements to give yourself the power and know you made the right choices. Those people did what they did. You know it wasn't right. You cut ties for your reason. They walked out of your life, but it's better. You don't want that kind of thing. Don't sit with it, everyone. Don't sit with those emotions. Don't let them run your life, everyone. On the days when I'm feeling those things, I'll explain to myself why I'm feeling it and why I know it's affecting me, but I don't give it power. I use my rational mind and tell myself what I know happened and why I feel about it that way, and I know what I did. Put yourself in power, everyone. Know that you're in the driver's seat and this is your life. You're in control. We can't control what people do. We can control how we respond to it. Let our emotions help us, everyone. Use those emotions to process things and know how we feel about it, to avoid stuff for future reference. Use your logical mind to think it through and be rational and know you made the right choices and know you love yourself and you're doing the right thing. Use your rational mind to have a good, decent, level-headed conversation with people. Be able to state how you feel and what's right and what's wrong. Don't be throwing elbows and dropping F-bombs and letting people know that they suck and you don't like them, because it's really not going to help everybody. Be professional. Don't use your emotions to try to have a conversation with somebody, because it's not going to come off well. Emotions, everybody, we don't do emotions well in conversation, everyone. It's good to process and work through those emotions so you know how you feel. Use your logical mind to use conversation and use words, everyone. Communication is important. Communicate how you feel and don't just sit with it, everyone. Just 20 years ago, that attempting suicide, I didn't know how to communicate things. I didn't know how to ask questions. I didn't know how to set boundaries and stand my grounds. I basically was just reacting with emotions and just tried to communicate something. They didn't retain it well. It wasn't a conversation that people understood and made sense out of. It didn't help me set boundaries or stand up for myself. All it did was just set me back farther. But everyone, it's been 20 years and I've never attempted again and never will. I've learned to love myself and I've learned to have good, healthy communication. I've learned to separate my emotional and rational mind. I recognize emotions when they're emotions. I recognize my rational thinking when I want to think things through and make the good choices, everyone. Everyone, that's most important, good choices. Emotions don't usually have good choices, Emotions don't help us make good choices, everybody. Think it through. Trust me. This guy knows, everybody. And everybody, keep it sexy. Make good choices. Don't use your emotions, everyone. Use your rational mind. We got a brain for a reason. Our heart feels a lot bigger than our brain, but this brain is powerful, everyone. Use your brain, everybody. Making choices. Everybody, keep it sexy. I love you all. I'll catch you on the flip side.